Yeah.
Hello, everybody in streamed land. It's not as fun not saying TV land. It's not as fun. Anyway, I'm gonna assume that our mics are working and that everything's happening. Everything's looking. It's been a while. We've been taking some time off. As Mike and I have been on assignment
To
on the
South Carolina.
yeah yeah yeah. I was gonna say
It's almost a
yeehaw,
very
and
Texas kind of thing.
then I've been working on my southern accent for the past 2 weeks. Really annoying Mike with it. It's getting real. I apparently have a Texas southern accent because I go real deep with my voice, but I need to try and get it to be lighter. Nope, that went British. See, I already messed it up.
You overthink it.
Cool, cool. Anyway, if for those of you out there, hi mom, Brandon is with us.
There we go. I just got the YouTube stream up.
Oh my god. Yeah, and everybody can see you that whole time when you're just You're just in it.
I'm hacking into the mainframe.
Yeah.
You know,
This
you
is the
can see
Matrix.
like half our bodies, but it's just Brandon's head.
I know. I could make it so it's
I'm
just
like
our heads, but
I'm like Zordon.
I like to show a little bit of our background and everything, you know?
Okay, so I could do that if I take my microphone with me. I can be like right here. Is that good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then
this
you're
is why
holding
you
your
have to get the
microphone.
rest of the podcast.
Hello, everybody.
I'm like I can kind of see the notes.
I love that we have the same microphone.
Well, yeah, I got it because you had it.
Yeah.
You had it recommended.
Hello.
I love how we're in a podcast and I'm talking politics with your mom.
You're just texting with my mom. Just
guys.
Yeah, look, we'll get into politics maybe in the Hangover, okay? There's a lot of
I'm sure
politics
we will.
that has just
we're
happened today.
We're getting into politics in the fucking episode.
Well, yes,
Well,
because
but not,
you know.
not recent politics. Anyway, let's do it.
No.
Yeah, Brandon,
Oh,
you got to
shit.
kick it off because you're leading it. So
you need to count in?
it's been a while. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a count in because you know.
I don't know the last
Alright,
time I did
let's
this.
do it.
It's been a
Let's do
while. It's been a while. Mike gets impatient. Okay, ready? And 5, 4, 3.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Cosmos with Cosmos. I'm Brandon.
I'm Liz.
I'm Zwicki.
Hey.
I'm Mike.
Hey.
Oh.
And today is part 1 of the Voyager episode. So this is Voyager part 1, Voyager 2.
Yeah,
Yes.
Voyager 2 Part 1.
Voyager.
There is-
No, it's Voyager Part 1, Voyager 2. Because it's Voyager, but we're starting with Voyager 2.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Voyager Part 1.
Voyager
And there's
2.
a reason for that,
Voyager
which we'll
2.
get into in the episode. But before we actually kick off the Voyager 1, Voyager 2 episode,
Yeah.
what are we drinking? What's going on?
I am drinking a good old boys club. Good old boys club.
Good old
because
boys club.
We're going back to the 1970s.
Well, aren't we? That's now too.
Well, I
And
know
it's still now.
It's still now. It's still now. But it's
And
just
there's,
like
and there's yeah,
it's just a classic old fashioned.
All right.
Yeah.
with ice that we hear.
With ice in it. Like that.
I've warmed up
A
to the
little
ice.
ASMR ice.
I've
I
warmed
don't
up
like
to it.
I don't like warming up my ice.
No, I've warmed up to the idea of the.
When you warm up to ice, it turns into water.
It does.
Hydrazine. Let's get some rocket fuel.
But we don't know how that works.
No.
We don't know how that or
don't know.
tides work.
What are you drinking with your
I'm
warmed
only
up ice?
supposed to work for 5 years. I'm only supposed to be here for 5 years.
That's a nice retirement plan.
Oh, Hey.
Yeah, but I've been going for 50 plus. Double nickels,
50.
actually. For
You should
me.
have that on like your tombstone. Like I was only supposed to work but I
was
was here
only
for
supposed
like
to be here for
for
5
like
years.
95 or whatever, whatever age you are when you die.
This is kind of in honor of being on assignment in South Carolina, seeing my family, and having barbecue and sweet tea.
Yeah,
oh my
it was
gosh,
good.
I've missed sweet tea.
It was good.
But this is nothing more than just a peach tea with peach vodka in it.
Ooh, delightful.
And,
That
and I
sounds
and
Could have gone with some bourbon, but that's more Kentucky.
as a Californian, I can tell you that the sweet tea in South Carolina, my teeth are all fake now. They all rotted away instantly after I had my first sweet
Pure-
tea. So
pure
just it's sweet.
we pull into Atlanta, and this is with a plane.
We pull in, we fly in.
Yeah, we just kind of pull into Atlanta, and we're at a restaurant there in the airport, and I asked for tea just to see if I would get sweet tea, and I didn't.
No, but it's the airport. They got to be, Anyway,
What are you drinking, Brandon?
what you got?
I'm drinking the Grand Pour, which I think is hilarious.
Oh, nice.
I agree with you.
I was gonna try and do a play on that, but then I didn't.
So we get this text. I don't know if you saw it, but we got this text where Brandon's like, "I'm just so happy. I'm really excited or proud of my drink name. It's a good name.
I'm so proud of it. The Grand Pour.
The Grand Pour. I like it. Well done.
We'll get what to play off of later on as well. So I think the last episode I hosted was William Herschel like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we don't know what's in the Grand Pour.
Oh, it's just a lot of bourbon.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's just the Grand Pour.
We got a nice. Well, you have vodka, but yeah, I feel like bourbon and whiskey. That's like the drink. That's like the liquor of the era.
I could have. I could have gone with bourbon, but
and then we got that news today. I'm like, I don't want to make a fancy drink. I'm just going to pour it in the glass and see what happens.
There you go.
All right. So we got some social media if you'd like to follow us. For example, on Twitter. You like that segue?
Yeah, it was great.
For Twitter. At Drinking Cosmos, Instagram Cosmos with Cosmos. Don't forget to follow us, rate us on all the things, including iTunes. That way we can, expand our domination reach to more people around the globe.
Instead of just 5.
Instead of just 5, or 6 on occasion.
We got a few.
And
Spotify,
if it's a good weekend, 7.
Hey.
Ooh, 7. That's a 7 up anyway. And after this episode, we have The Hangover, in which we will talk about God knows what after the Grand Pour.
We all know what we're talking about.
We'll try to rate it.
No. Anyway.
No. We have some friends of the show as well. For example, Katie has some wonderful art. Wildixia on Etsy. Mr. RonProctorShow.com, who does a theme song to The Hangover. And, of course, if you happen to be in the Rolling Bluffs, Iowa area, check out Jack at rollingbluffsplanetarium.com.
Mm-hmm.
He won't be with us. I think he's in Germany.
Yeah, Ron's in Germany.
Ron's up there in Germany. Yeah.
And then my sister's at the Portland Pride Parade
Festival. Nice.
Yeah.
But when they're here in August, we're going to take them to the Eugene.
Yes.
Ooh, fun. We also have some more content as well, including The Shots. These are bite-sized episodes between 5 and more than 5 minutes.
Less than 15.
Less than 15, typically.
Couple of
the great thing about The Shot is that Liz was like, okay, it's got to be 10 minutes or less. 10 minutes. That's the thing. We got a little timer, 10 minutes. And Brandon and I consistently are less than 10. And Liz is now like, she's an hour and a half.
No, I'm usually... Yeah, I go...
One of yours expanded into a full episode during the shot itself.
It ended up, we were like, okay, we got to cut this off and make a full episode. It was the time one. So check out the shot on time, because time is wild.
Okay, good. Yeah. I like it. And then for this episode, we have a couple of rules. Anytime a puppy barks, take yourself a drink. Any Star Wars reference, take a drink. And any Lord of the Rings reference, take a drink as well. Do we have any special rules for this week?
For every minute that we're over
what?
An hour.
Over an hour? We always go over
starting
an hour.
now or starting 11 minutes ago?
We always go over an hour.
I will let you start now. But anyway, for every minute that you're over, you have to take a
Remember,
drink.
I got the Herschel within an hour as well, and this is not as dense.
Okay. All right, roll it.
With that, let's get to episode 113.
Oh, shit.
Voyager Part 1, Voyager 2.
Yeah. Voyaging.
So Voyager, as of this exact moment, Voyager 2 launched 46 years ago, 11 months, 1 day, 5 hours, 43 minutes, and 3 seconds ago.
Wow. Now it's like 5 seconds ago. Wow.
Now it's 7 seconds ago. We can keep this going. And since it launched all this 46 years ago, it has pretty much operated every single day since then. Like, it's just incredible that any piece of hardware can work that long every single day in the first place.
Yeah, especially being something built when you would think like our technology today has like far superseded any space flight technology that we had in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
You would think that it wouldn't, but you know what, actually, it goes to show with technology, like if you bought a printer when printers were first printing a thing, they lasted forever. Now you buy a printer, it lasts like 2 years before you get a new one. So,
the end-shitification.
Yeah.
The car places still have the dot matrix.
Yeah.
However, the end-shitification technology does not apply to NASA hardware, as we see with Perseverance.
That's true. Like our robots on Mars, they weren't supposed to last as long, and they're still going. Most of them, or a good chunk of them, some of them lasted longer. Anyway,
all right.
Good
like I said, I'm only supposed to be here 5 years.
All right, so Voyager 2 is a twin spacecraft of Voyager 1. And if you're unfamiliar, these two spacecraft, they were, the grand tour of the outer planets. So they are the spacecraft designed to go to Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, possibly Pluto and more.
The Grand Pour.
The Grand Pour, that's where it's coming from. So yeah, they were really just meant to go out there and discover shit. However, in order to do that, to go out there and discover shit, if you will.
That's the mission of NASA.
That's the scientific term. Yeah, this is the mission. That is the exact mission description. Mm-hmm. Going out to discover shit.
To boldly go and explore shit. But I do quickly want to make a pit stop. Because if Voyager 2 kind of gets overlooked by Voyager 1 for a variety of reasons, Voyager's the first, it's the fastest, all that stuff. But before the Voyagers were the Pioneer missions. These were two spacecraft that also went to Jupiter and Saturn, but often gets overlooked by everyone else because for a variety of reasons. Because of Voyager, exactly. So the year is 1958. Ooh. And the commies got to space first with Sputnik. Now, the U.S. eventually caught up thanks to the Pioneer missions. So these were really just feasibility missions meant to figure out how to achieve Earth escape velocity and reach the moon.
I like it. It's like we gotta test this shit. We gotta be like, okay, what works, what doesn't work. Especially before we send any humans out there. We gotta test this technology, see what we can do with it.
Yep, and that is why they're called the Pioneers. They're the first ones to go out.
They should have named them like Lewis and Clark. I don't know. Spacey Lewis and Clark. I don't know. Anyway.
So Pioneer 0 was the first one, launched in 1958, and it exploded 77 seconds after launch.
Oh, hey.
Well, that was because it was 0. If they had named it Pioneer 1, it would have been fine.
Well, Pioneer 1 also failed. So did 2. And P1 and P3 and P30 and P31, they all failed.
Okay, well, you gotta trial and error.
Now, 4 other Pioneer missions were successful, and they studied space weather in low Earth orbit. But the heavy hitters in the program are Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11.
We finally got our shit together.
We got our shit together. So these are like Pioneer 0 and these other early missions, where they're feasibility missions, asking if it's possible to even reach the outer planets in the first place. So like how to gain the necessary velocity to zip by the asteroid belt, how to survive the harsh radiation of Jupiter's magnetosphere, and how to literally do anything out there in deep space.
Fair.
So Pioneer 10 launched March 3rd, 1972. Pioneer 11 launched April 1973.
Okay.
And they became the first spacecraft to pass and image and study Jupiter and the rings of Saturn.
Woo!
And both of which carry the famous plaque that we will talk about next episode.
Oh, all right. Intriguing. Come back for more.
Yeah, and this kind of
2 episodes. The next one's High in the Sky.
Oh, shitballs. Okay.
Yes. Well, there will be a part 2, Voyager 1.
There will be a part 2.
Okay. So there's a little quote I liked about these Pioneer missions. One of the contractors that are building parts for it, they said, "This spacecraft is guaranteed for 2 years of interplanetary flight. If any component fails within that warranty period, just return the spacecraft to our shop and we'll repair it free of charge."
That's pretty good.
That's good. I love that. I love how cheeky NASA engineers always are. I feel like a lot of them just are really cheeky and they have fun with it. I feel like a lot of people in the nerd sciences, like astronomy, I don't know what I don't know what the other nerd sciences are, but they have fun with it.
I think astronomy is the only nerd science. All the others are dork sciences.
Okay, yes.
Dorks.
Those fucking dorks. Those whale dicks.
Love
So
it.
what I love about not Wildix, but about this time in history is that it really is another golden age of exploration. We're seeing all these planets, these new worlds for the first time. We're seeing Venus, Mercury, Mars, these outer gas giants. 1965, for example, Mariner 4 took a picture of Mars the first time.
Yeah.
And 1971, Mariner 9 became the first spacecraft to orbit another planet. So it's just an amazing time.
Wow, I would like, I want that feeling. I guess we get that feeling a little bit with James Webb, but like that feeling when you see that image of this planet up close for like the first time or whatever. That's just like this.
So James Webb, for example, Ingenuity, the flying robot on Mars, it got some great views there. We heard the wind on Mars for the first time recently as well. And we have a whole bunch of missions coming up as well that will give us these first time events again. But for us, the Pioneer missions, they use the thing called the gravitational assists to go faster. So the way gravitational... Thanks, dork. So the way gravitational assists work is that you have a spacecraft that reaches escape velocity outside the Earth, and then it'll swing by Venus, for example. And it gets close enough to where the gravity slingshots it around. And so it's like when you grab, an actual slingshot yourself, swing it above your head and throw it, it gains some speed. So the Pioneers also kind of pioneered that as well.
I mean, that's just cool that we could figure that out. That we were just like, hey,
that's just Isaac Newton.
Yeah, I know, but like, you'd be like, hey, well, guys, let's use the other planets as a slingshot. We could just whip them around. We do have a question in chat, and I don't know if you have this in your notes. But how long did it take to make Voyager 2 and 1? She doesn't want to wait. We don't want to wait for 30 years for the next James Webb.
Which is what we did between Hubble and James Webb.
We're going to get to that question here in a hot second.
All right.
But it happened surprisingly quick.
Okay.
Because in 1973, following Mariner's 10 flyby of Venus and Mercury using gravitational assist, there was an engineer named Gary Flandreau, and he was tasked with looking at these slingshot paths and if they can be used to reach Uranus and Neptune. So in this research, he learned that Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune would all be aligned on the same side of the solar system during the 1980s. So that means, using those assists, you could take 20 years off a trajectory to the outer planets just using gravitational assists.
Nice. And a quote from Gary is, "Meow." That was a deep SpongeBob reference.
Is that a
deep SpongeBob cut?
Is that a deep? Because isn't it like Gary, like a main character almost?
But yeah, but is SpongeBob cool anymore? I don't know.
Anyway,
moving on.
Right. So another fun fact about the gravitational assist is if a spacecraft uses the planet's gravity to slingshot it around, it's inherently taking energy from the planet's speed. So both Voyagers slowed down Jupiter in its orbit around the sun by stealing its gravity.
We are gods!
Now it's slowed down Jupiter by 1 foot per trillion years.
But still.
It's pretty fucking cool. We slowed down the biggest gas giants.
Again, the power. I have the power. Okay.
So as Gary Flandreau found out about this, he also discovered the next time it would happen was 176 years in the future.
Oh, shit.
So that's got to be one of those, that's weird moments. Like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. That's a nice timing. It's just, right time.
So it's 1973. At this point, the development, cancellations, renamings, launches, near catastrophes, media attention, and particularly Golden Record will be talked about in 4 weeks, apparently.
Okay, in part what? Well, no, it's whatever. In part 1.
For Voyager 1. For part 2, you mean?
Part 2. Yeah, part 2, Voyager 1.
This naming that we came up with is going to fuck us up.
I love it.
And it's done for an exact reason.
Yes.
So we're doing Voyager 2 first because, in true tradition, it was the first of the pair to launch. And it's still the only spacecraft to visit all 4 gas giants.
Second's the best. Also, I think Voyager 2 gets the least, everybody focuses on Voyager 1, and people don't really consider Voyager 2, I think, a lot of times.
I think that's actually written in the...
Is it in the notes?
Well, it's the very first. It's the very first line.
Oh. If Voyager 2 is overlooked by Voyager 1, then the Pioneer missions get overlooked by Voyager 1.
All right.
But you are absolutely right. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So if it's 1973 that Gary Flandre figures out this orbit's happening, 73, it's only going to take 4 years to build this damn thing? Because 1977 it launches. So the answer was a question there. 4 years is what it took.
4 years.
Which is
That's
fast.
not bad. That is that is very quick on NASA
Now,
time
luckily,
scales.
that was able to happen because of the Mariner programs. We took a lot of those as we went.
Oh, okay, we got the internet back. Sorry, our internet's being a little funky today. I think, I don't know, wildfires might be affecting it.
We have wildfires near here.
But, so, anyway, bear with us!
All right, so August 20th, 1977, Voyager 2 launches, and on board are 11 instruments. Let's see if I can do this in the first read-through.
You can do it.
Number 1.
Got it.
Imaging Science System. Number 2, Ultraviolet Spectrometer. Number 3, Infrared Interferometer Spectrometer. Number 4, Planetary Radio Astronomy Experiment. Number 5, Photopolarimeter. Number 6, Triaxial Fluxgate. That's cool. Magnometer. Number 7, Plasma Spectrometer. Number 8, Low Energy Charged Particle Experiment. Number 9, Plasma Waves Experiment. Number 10, Cosmic Ray Telescope. And number 11, Radio Science System.
Nice.
Any questions?
A couple of those were totally science fiction. We're totally out of like a Ray Bradbury novel or something.
What's a Fluxgate?
Yeah, and like that is the successor to Stargate.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, yeah. It's like something Geordi shouts back at the captain.
Exactly.
Is it a combination of the flux capacitor and Stargate?
Yeah.
That's what it is?
Yeah, the flux capacitor.
No, it was not any... Yeah, flux capacitor from...
Back to the Future.
Yeah, that
Back to the Future, yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
With a gigawatt of energy.
I'm sorry, in all of these I'm trying to think of, did we make a Star Wars reference in these?
Nope.
We did a Star Trek reference. Star Trek.
So overall, we had those 11 instruments, but the Voyagers would have 65,000 individual parts on them.
I mean,
that's a lot.
Jesus Christ! Do you have down how many nations were involved in the building, or was it just us? Because I know like the current spacecraft, like Mars rovers and stuff, it's it's NASA, but a lot of different nations contribute to it.
My gut reaction is this is a purely U.S. mission
because of the time period, and we're not the most cooperative moods.
I bet you if we got any help, it'd be from Canada.
Okay, yeah. Well, of course, Canada helps everybody. It's Canada. They're so nice.
Yeah.
They're the nicest. Please have us. Please take us.
That's the hangover.
Okay. All right.
So, all 65,000 parts had to be radiation hardened because when these spacecraft pass by Jupiter, they're going to receive 1,000 times a lethal dose of humans. So,
a lethal dose of humans?
Sorry, 1,000 times the radiation level. So,
it's like...
Sorry.
I mean, humans are a lethal dose. Yeah, that's a lot. Wow. There's a lot. I don't think people realize how much, like just being in space outside of our atmosphere, how much radiation. Yeah, how much death is there.
I mean, we've talked about how the universe is actively
the radiation you don't even think about being a factor because you can't see it. It's not something that...
I bet astronauts do.
Elizabeth in chat. Yeah. Elizabeth in chat asked, "How does radiation proofing happen?"
Oh boy! All right, that's a good question.
Oh God! Here we go. Derailed.
I just want to go over an hour just so that I can watch Brandon just have to take a drink every single minute.
We've seen the consequences of that before, but anyway.
So I can't give you the exact technological reasons how it happens, but they are called TRL levels, technology readiness levels. I think it's 0 through 10, 0 being the idea put down the paper, 10 being put onto the mission. And each one of these steps is a process of, making sure this works, making sure that is going to work. So it does have a variety of levels to pass through before it gets onto a mission.
I do want to say that when I was at Clemson, there was Clemson.
Derail us. Sorry, I'm just responding.
Okay.
At Clemson.
There was a group within the physics department that was looking specifically at radiation and with the idea of protecting spacecraft went up there. And so... And that was in the 90s. And so, That was one of the things I could have been interested in, but I was more interested in high energy physics.
Yeah, you like the
quantum.
You like the quantum.
I like quantum shit.
You like to get quirky with it.
I do like to get quirky with it, but but it was an interesting thing. And then there was also a guy, Professor Merriweather. I don't know if he's still around in the world.
Was he British?
No, but he looked like he could be British. Like you could put a top hat and a monocle on.
Merriweather.
Yeah, he
Indubitably.
He shot lasers into the atmosphere. He's doing atmospheric studies, and so he go out and shoot lasers.
It's like Godzilla Kong movie, the New Empire. They're shooting their. Anyway, we just watched it.
All right, so the Voyager missions did not have laser beams to shoot at spacecraft.
Cool, Voyager had lasers.
Not to shoot at things. So the spacecraft design itself, we're going to go over a couple little highlights about this, including.
Are we going to get into Voyager 10 when the Klingons shoot it in the Voyager 1 movie?
So that's Voyager 10. Sorry, that's Voyager Part 3, Voyager 10.
With Captain Janeway. No.
Yeah. So I want to talk a couple instruments, including the scanning platform. Ooh. So this is the platform itself that swivels to take pictures and move around the things.
Oh, okay.
And it points the cameras and scientific instruments exactly where they need to be pointed, within 1/10 of 1 degree.
Oh, wow, that's precise.
While traveling 38,000 miles an hour.
That's, fuck.
So JPL put it this way. This is comparable to bowling strike after strike ad infinitum, assuming you must hit within 1 inch of the strike pocket every single time.
Damn, that is not how I bowl. I'll tell you that much.
No, I get it.
I
get it
don't
on the.
Bowl because
I don't bowl because it breaks my back. Yes, this is true.
And by the JPL is the NASA sensor that built Voyager on direction of Bruce Murray at the time. So that's the scanning platform. Now, this platform and those instruments had to be held real steady. And I have this in the notes, like steadier than Luke's hand in the trench run.
Well, there we go. There's this happen. Oh, why isn't my that's because I was using the wrong button. There it is.
So it had to be 30 times, this is what JPL said, 30 times steadier than the hour hand on a clock. Wow. I can't comprehend that.
It took us how many years just to develop the clock? Anyway.
We had the whole thing on time.
We had a whole thing on time. Check it out. I'll talk about it.
So that's the scanning platform. Stick that in your head. We'll come back
I'm sorry, and just to reiterate, this was done in 4 years.
I'm fast. We also had tape recorders, like legitimate, like super fancy VCR tapes that had to work for 3 decades.
If you are younger than 28, Google it.
What does VCR stand for, Liz?
Video recording.
Cassette?
Video cassette recording?
Oh, is that what it is?
Video cassette recording.
That's my guess.
That's my guess. Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway.
It's probably something stupid, but...
because I keep getting HDMI wrong. Because I keep saying media instead of multimedia.
Yeah.
I keep doing the M as media instead of multimedia. But
so because they had it play pretty much all the time, it was like having a 2-hour cassette playing every day for 33 years, which is enough for the tape to move back and forth across the United States.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, like, if I rewind my tape, like, 5%,
rewind.
20% of the time, something would break and I had to go fix it.
Yeah.
So to have this work
you need the pencil. Did they have a pencil? Use the pencil to help when it's jammed.
They had just an automatic pencil up there to put it back.
Just rotating.
So that's the tape recorders that recorded all the information that were sent back to the Earth. And we also had to talk about the power, because after all, these things are 44 years later still operating with the same
and it's
power.
definitely not solar because they're far fucking away from the sun.
Oh, they are way too far
away. Is that an
away.
official unit?
Far fucking away from the sun. Yes, it's called the FFAS unit.
Well, thanks to that FFSA unit, we have our good friend radioisotropic thermoelectric generators, also known as RTGs.
Ooh, so basically nuclear stuff decaying.
Didn't we talk about this in an episode before? RTGs?
Oh yeah.
I thought we did.
I
talk about RTGs all the time.
I like to play our RPG.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so RTGs are the same things that power Curiosity and Perseverance, for
Yes,
example.
okay.
Tiny little nuclear balls of death.
Yes.
In this case,
Don't touch
it is
them.
plutonium. No. In this case, it is plutonium-238, which is difficult to get because plutonium-239 is for bombs.
Hey! Yay!
So actually,
they're like, we
the
need
creation-
something, but let's step it down one level from planet devastation.
Let's remove one neutron.
Isotope.
That's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna take one neutron away. You can have it over here.
This would be a great shot because the creation of 238 is a fascinating political story and how we get it, how we didn't have it recently for a while, and how we got it back just recently.
This is a good shot for Brandon to do.
I guess we know what your next shot is.
I don't know. I got a big list. I got a big list of things to
I have a
shot.
list as well.
I have no list.
So those RTGs generated 470 watts of power at the time of launch.
That's not a lot.
You can Google light bulbs that run off 500 watts.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that's so. All right. Anyway.
And so the power declines over time with a half-life of 87.7 years. So we're like at the half point to the half point right now. Which
Wow.
That's shorter than I thought. But okay.
So we're only okay. All right.
We're over. Yeah.
We're over halfway through. It's power
but that's
source
just
here.
the power itself.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
Instruments fail as well. Electronic components can fail. So it's estimated right now that the Voyager 2 will last at least through next year, but we're getting close to the end. We're getting real close to the end. Because we can still. No, it's just a fact. Because we can still troubleshoot when systems go down, which is what happened this last year. We'll talk about it next time.
Okay.
But both Voyagers are healthy, talking to us right now.
Okay, that's
but
good.
within this decade, they will both be out.
Oh,
It's basically guaranteed.
they're like grandparents.
That's going to be a hell of an episode after.
Yeah.
Oh no. I don't like this.
So
I don't like the facts of life or technology or power.
Because this is an episode to celebrate Voyager
Yes,
2.
celebration of life, because while it's still alive.
Well, celebration is still a dead thing, whatever it is that you were celebrating. Anyway, continue.
It's alive, though.
We're celebrating.
So that is the power.
It's accomplishment.
And now I want to talk just a little bit about the navigation. So, for example, if we look at Neptune, from 4.4 billion miles away, Voyager had to hit an area of 62 miles. So you're going 4 billion miles to hit an area of 62 miles across.
Isn't it?
We can put this in Golf with Friends terminology.
Okay.
So that is hitting a hole-in-one, putting, from 2,260 miles away.
Oh my fucking god. How have we done this
Newton.
as a species?
This is all Newton.
Oh god, newts.
Newton
I mean,
went down to JPL,
this is the
put
shit.
the navigation systems together. The FDS system is all him.
This is the shit where I want to go back in time and be like, Newts, look at the shit because you're math.
I mean, this is amazing. Like the stuff from a simple. I mean, in all honesty, F equals ma, and Newton's universal law of gravitation. Just two simple equations.
Right.
So much comes from that.
And it took us hundreds of thousands of years to evolve to that point to figure it out.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But as we learned from Brandon at some point,
learned from Brandon,
there were a lot of people that other than Newton that had thought of this stuff. It's just that
that's
Newton
true.
formulated it.
Yeah.
He
those shots aren't out yet, though. We haven't learned that from Brandon
He came up with the equations. He came up with the equations. Like it's one thing to say this should happen, but until you formulate it,
yeah, it's like Copernicus, where it's like, yeah, the sun's at the center, but until Galileo actually uses points a spyglass at the sky and be like, oh yeah, here's it in motion, here's it actually happening.
Yeah,
you know.
But Copernicus never formulated it.
No, he was just like, oh, I think it should be this way.
And the reason why Kepler is the way he is because he formulated it.
Yeah.
He gave an equation.
Yeah.
That you
so
could
basically, you got to show your work. You got to show your work.
You know.
Now I kind of want to be a math teacher.
Copernicus.
You can do it. I believe in you.
No.
He said yes that the sun is the center of the solar system, but he also said, we got angels that are pushing planets. So,
well, yeah, everybody reaches that.
Yeah, and I mean, Newton tried to make gold out of pea, so we can just ignore some certain things.
Elizabeth sat for one. She says episode for the underfunded projects and the completion of this mission in the future. And then wasn't it because of the dude was
Newton.
avoiding the plague?
That was for calculus. He went home for a summer because of the plague and make calculus with funsies.
I mean, what did you do during COVID?
Exactly. No, he invented calculus.
Not you, Elizabeth, just in a general.
He invented calculus because he had already come up with his universal law of gravitation.
Mm-hmm. He just needed some math for it.
He needed to show why it was the way it was.
I'm going to reel us back in because we haven't even launched yet, and we're 40 minutes in.
Yes, that's fine.
Which does not bode well for me in the future.
We knew this shit was going to go long. Voyager episodes extra long. Be warned. Sit tight. Make some popcorn and strap in.
All right. Now we're going to talk about the cameras. Not too far in depth, just a brief overview. The imaging science subsystem. These were just slightly modified versions of the cameras used on the Mariner flights, which is nice because it's how you get, a spacecraft built within 5 years, basically. And there were two types. We had the wide-angle camera and the narrow-angle camera, just your perspective of shots. Yeah. And these cameras had to be, again, real good, like being able to read a newspaper headline from a kilometer away. 0.6 miles, 0.67 miles.
Is CCD technology invented for this?
CCD?
Like the detectors like in your digital camera, you have a detector.
That's a good question.
Okay. Anyway,
you would think somebody would know that who researched this.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. So obviously they're not printing fucking film to be developed because they can't get it back. Mm-hmm. So
well, I mean, all the data is digital.
Yes, it's digital in some way. Yeah, right. So it's got to be some sort of
So
digital.
2 types of cameras, that kind of the resolution, plus with the dim light of Uranus and Neptune. They need exposure time up to 48 seconds of exposure, going 1,000 miles an hour. So that's where, that the scanning platform comes into play as well.
Yeah, they need to avoid the streaking then of...
Now, originally, I think it was only up to 15 seconds for exposure until they got practicing with Jupiter and Neptune, and they realized we need to increase that up to 48 seconds. Mm-hmm. So between Saturn and Neptune, they had a lot of work to do.
Good thing they had a little bit of time.
Yeah. It's like me practicing with taking pictures of the sky. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's practice. Yeah. I need more exposure. Okay.
But luckily, your budget wasn't $600 million.
I wish it was $600 million. But anyway.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So the launch itself. Okay, so the launch was successful. It got up. Anytime the rocket gets above the pad and nothing scary goes boom, it's very good.
Okay.
Well, there was a problem with the Voyager 2 launch, which launched again before Voyager 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
why go in order? Thanks, NASA.
So the because Voyager 1 overtook Voyager 2 later on, so that's why they called it Voyager 2. All right. So the onboard computers, the spacecraft computers navigation system for the spacecraft, read information from the gyroscope. So as the spacecraft rolls to take pictures or to adjust its communication antenna, the gyroscope moves as well. It's kind of how you move the spacecraft in the first place. But this particular gyroscope had upper limits on how fast Voyager can move or roll in space. And if the spacecraft rolls too quickly, the computers then try to self-correct. Well, it turns out that the rocket had a twist greater than the parameters of the gyroscope.
Ooh.
That it just kind of slipped their minds, I guess. And then, not only that, but subsequent dust particles, shaken loose by the vibrations, appeared like stars around the spacecraft.
Uh-oh.
And the navigation computers were looking for the stars.
Uh-oh.
So it saw the dust, it saw us moving too fast, and it got very confused.
A confused robot flying out into space, controlled by humans on Earth. Oh, boy.
But it feels like every time something like this happens, there's always like this one engineer in the back of the room saying, "No, I programmed this. Let me fix it really quick."
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah, he's like, "I got this. Don't worry."
Yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, let me just put this fix in, upload it, and fix it." And that fix was put in Voyager 1 before Voyager 1 launched.
Okay, so they're like, let's Voyager 2. They were like, we've learned something, so we need to.
Yes, which is funny because, as we'll see later on, Voyager 1 was the daredevil of the two, but Voyager 2 always took a safe path just in case Voyager 1 failed.
Well, you gotta have that. You gotta have that balance. You know, you gotta have the one that's playing it, the straight and narrow, and then you gotta have the one that's a little bit
Voice of
wily.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a voice of reason.
You need a voice of reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as to how and why we got 2 spacecraft in the first place, check out Voyager Part 2, Voyager 1.
Yes! Check it out. Not out yet, but it will be out soon.
In a month.
And follow us on all the things to find out when it's going to be out.
Thanks, Liz. So that is our episode. I'm just kidding. So at that point, it's healthy, it's happy, okay, and space is pretty fucking big. So not too much happens. December 10th, 1977, Voyager 2 enters the asteroid belt.
All right,
Excellent.
yeah. And it's not like Star Wars. The asteroids are really spread apart. They're not all
Right.
over the
Drink for that?
place. Yeah.
Oh.
No.
It's not really a reference,
you
but
know,
it
I
is
just-
a
Well,
reference.
okay, well,
Fuck
let
it
me-
anyway. Drink anyway because we
Let
haven't
me
had
read
a
my
lot.
next line. While this chaotic mess of dodging asteroids left and right, like you have John Williams in your ear. So yes, it was
Okay.
already
Drink
live.
again because then he's confirmed. Because why not?
But no, there was no dodging of asteroids. And that same month, by the way, while they're in the asteroid belt, Voyager 1 overtakes Voyager 2
Whoa.
and becomes the first spacecraft.
What? Whoa. Right.
Now, as they were in the asteroid belt, Voyager 2's primary radio receiver failed. It could no longer talk to Earth. Luckily, it was switched quickly to the secondary radio receiver for
Right.
the rest of its life. So it's still talking to us now based off the second
Did they
radio
add a
receiver.
tertiary?
Nicely done.
Okay, well done.
It's my history degree coming into play.
And that brings us to Jupiter, the king of the planets.
Jupes. Joopy
Jupes. Now we have episodes dedicated on Jupiter
Yes.
and Saturn, Blood of the Moon,
Yes.
so I'm not going to go too much in depth as to what
Yes.
Voyager's discovered there,
Yes.
but we'll do a quick little run through.
But Google the images because even though look, even though the Juno images are fucking art.
Masterpieces.
Oh my god! But the Voyager images of Jupiter
And
are
there's something-
beautiful.
Yes. Also, while you're looking at that, look at the Pioneer images of Jupiter, because those were the first.
Those were the first.
All right, so the observations of Jupiter began on April 24th, 1979. That's when the observations began. And eventually it would get within, 350,000 miles of the surface,
Okay.
which doesn't sound like a lot. Oh, sorry, it sounds pretty far away,
Yeah.
but that's still pretty fucking close for the biggest planet in the solar system.
Yeah, for the first spacecraft to go by it, yeah.
It's
Third.
It's
Wait,
one
what
and a half
spacecraft?
times.
Third spacecraft. All right.
Fourth.
It's one and a
Thanks-
half
thanks,
times the
Pioneers.
distance between the Earth and the Moon, and Jupiter is fucking huge.
It's very big.
So,
you can fit
Jupiter is gonna be big in the shot.
1,000 Earths inside of
Yeah,
Jupiter.
so it's 10 times the size
It's
of the Earth. So it's going to be
And,
Big,
big
keep
the
in
picture.
mind, Voyager 2 was at this distance for safety reasons and other reasons, because Voyager 1 got within the 170,000 miles.
Oh, okay.
So that got real close to the planet.
That's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
And so Voyager 1 took that path because it was basically trying out the severe radiation zone and seeing if its instruments could actually function
Okay.
through it.
It's this whole testing, like, okay, what can we do, what can't we do?
Mm-hmm.
Which is
So that path had to be determined beforehand to get, the thrusters in
Yeah.
place. So it was for safety reasons, but also Voyager 2 took the higher path to hit a potential rendezvous with Uranus and Neptune. And I say potential because at this point, it was not confirmed that Voyager 2 was going to reach Uranus and Neptune.
Oh, okay. So they were like, "What? We're gonna hope that it goes this way. We're gonna hope we can get
Yeah.
there, but we don't
Yeah,
know."
that's exactly. There wasn't budget for it yet. There wasn't the capital yet. We weren't sure whether this is even going to work, really.
Okay.
So again, we have many episodes on the moons of Jupiter. So just a quick little highlights besides the wonderful imagery. There was Europa, discovered to have deep cracks on its icy surface and having a thin crust of water ice floating on 30-mile deep oceans, which is wild.
And now Google the Europa Clipper mission.
Do that. Ganymede, of course, showed groove terrains that showed the strain of Jupiter's gravity. Callisto is a cool moon. It's an old surface, a lot of craters. And then there's Io.
Oh,
Io.
Io.
Federico's
I
here.
love Io or Io, whatever.
So the important,
I say
the important
Io.
part here,
Io.
yeah, The important part here is that the volcanoes were discovered by the Voyagers.
Oh,
and of course,
crap. Okay, yeah, that's right.
And there's
But that was after it flew past it.
We didn't
Yes,
know that
No.
this moon orbiting Jupiter had a shit ton of active volcanoes
there
on
are
it.
theories, and this is one of my favorite stories. This is a Voyager 1 story, but I'm going to steal that for right now. So there was an individual, I forgot her name, we'll have it for the next episode, was in charge of looking at astronavigation. So looking at where all the stars are at and making sure everything's on the right path. And she took a look at it, and I was in the picture. She saw like this fuzz, and she wiped it off, and it was a volcano. And she goes, "Oh, shit! This isn't a star.
awesome.
People need to see this."
That's
so one of those moments
awesome.
again where this one person knew something else nobody knew.
Yeah,
Love
I wonder
that.
if it was
Nobody.
it Prometheus?
Not only that nobody knew at the time, nobody in the history of humanity knew.
History, yeah. Imagine being the only person in the history of humanity that knows something that no other person, human being in the history
Like
of
how
humanity
many
have ever
licks it
known.
takes to get to the center of the picture.
Exactly.
Imagine being that one person. So
Or that
Voyager
owl.
2, following 4 months after Voyager 1, had a 10-hour volcano watch to confirm.
Oh my god, that's a volcano. That's awesome.
And lo and behold, it
Dante's
discovered
Peak, I know.
it discovered many more active volcanoes erupting.
And
It's
it
fabulous.
has over 400 active volcanoes to this
Most
day.
volcanically active thing in the solar system.
That's great.
So
right.
the lady that discovered it, there's been 117 billion people who have lived on Earth in the history of the Earth, and 1 out of 117 billion.
There's a Garden State quote here, but I'll
That's
save you
amazing.
from that.
By the
Okay.
way, just in chat, Elizabeth's name is going on the Europa Clipper
yeah, it
mission
is.
because you can sign your name up, which also means Elizabeth, if your name is going up, my name is also going up. Boom.
And my name's going up.
Oh, you signed up? Okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
She probably put her last name.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, as Elizabeth,
All right.
we
I
are
got
one.
11 minutes to do a lot.
You can do it.
No, you got 22 minutes. You're good.
22 minutes. All right.
I
That
said
takes us-
11 after.
That takes us to the Lord of the Rings. 7. Oh, God damn it.
Well, there you go.
I completely forgot about that.
How could you forget about that? That's our whole
So
thing.
on June 5th, 1981, Voyager 2 began its approach. I have it in the notes to the Lord of the Rings, Saturn.
Yes.
So it began its approach 41 million miles from the planet. And 3 days before a close approach, it nabbed images of Iapetus
Iapetus!
from 500,000 miles away.
I'm sorry, but I just in my head it's the Saturn show, Planetarium show
The
voice.
exact same thing.
Yeah, okay.
Iapetus.
Uh-huh.
And then we got to Hyperion, another moon, 300,000 miles out.
It looks like one of the coral sponges.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Iapetus, yeah.
Yeah.
And then up next, 18 hours before close approach, it swung 400,000 miles nearby Titan.
Titan, check out the shot. Titan, which
And it
I
had some
think
great
is
pictures
out
of the
now.
orange clouds of that moon. Now, Voyager 2 did have a contingency plan at this point because
Okay.
Titan was considered such an important body in the solar system that Voyager 1 made it a priority. In fact, that is why Voyager 1 did not go to Pluto. Titan was considered such an important body that we scrapped Pluto to go have Voyager 1 swing by Titan instead.
I don't know how I feel about this because this is, yes, it totally makes sense because Titan is worthy of more study,
An
but
early
also
primordial Earth. Yeah.
knowing what I know now about Pluto with the New Horizons mission, holy shit, did we miss out on some grandiose views of Pluto.
Yes, and it's easy to say that now because, of course, we had Cassini out there to Saturn and check things out. And we only had one spacecraft near for New Horizons for Pluto.
Yeah.
But you have to admit, Titan, as great as Pluto is, and I love Pluto,
Titan is fucking
significantly
fantastic.
more interesting.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's check out again the shot on Titan out now.
The Titanic shot. No, that was a different shot.
I mean,
For sure.
legitimately, you can argue it whether Titan versus Pluto,
But it doesn't matter because it's already happened.
it's
But
already
it's a fun
happened.
conversation to have.
It is.
So in any case, had Voyager 1 failed in imaging Titan, then Voyager 2 would have completely changed path to observe the moon, and we would have never seen Uranus and Neptune. Because that's how important Titan was
Oh
deep.
God! Wow. And wow. Okay, I'm not gonna. No spoilers. Continue.
So we got within 500,000 miles of these moons and that moon, but it got to within 26,000 miles of Saturn's surface. It's cloud tops.
That's
Surface.
wow. That's close. Did it go in between the rings? It didn't go in between the rings.
I don't.
No. Okay. So
This is my
kind of.
motion in
So,
between the rings. This
I
is
don't
what
recall-
it means.
It must have got between a gap or something, because I recall in one of the documentaries and many books I've read. Speaking of which, Voyager by my old professor Stephen Pine, great read.
Hey.
I recall, so it's slipped behind the planet Saturn, and because it was dealing with the rings, it went communication silent for a while because we can't communicate through a planet,
No.
and we didn't really know if it was going to come out the other side completely unharmed. So yes, we did deal with the rings.
Okay.
We didn't know what would happen until it got to the other side. Which brings us to, so we had the problem with the launch, and that brings us to our next problem.
Uh-oh.
So remember that scanning platform we had talked about that had to move all the imagery around?
Yes.
So that platform is rotated in elevation and azimuth by actuators. And that just kind of pushes things around. Actuators, that's what they do.
Okay.
So the science team had pushed Voyager 2's actuators to get all the information they can, which makes sense. But in doing so, near the end of the Saturn observations in August 27th, the platform experienced an anomaly.
An anomaly.
Which means the actuator.
It's a good Star Trek episode. Then,
Yeah,
if there's an anomaly, it's going to be a good
That's
Star Trek
every
episode. Yeah. Is it cute?
So the actuator that controlled the horizontal movement of the platform, left to right, 0 to 360 degrees, it froze up and failed to swivel.
Oh no! I mean, space is cold.
Is very well, yeah. And I say freeze up. I apologize. It doesn't mean it actually froze. It means it stopped moving, basically.
Okay.
Like the UI hung. In other words.
Yes. It was just like I can't go any further.
So during this time, Voyager was meant to take pictures of Rhea, Titan, and temperature readings of the southern hemisphere of Saturn. And this was kind of a big deal because there was press conferences and hand-wringing and a lot of oh shit moments that happened. And they were like, we don't know how to get through this, but we will, I'm sure. Because he still had years to get to Uranus, but they were still missing observational time on Saturn.
Okay.
So ultimately, it was a design flaw that was discovered in the gears and lubrication system. And then the way the team solved this is they moved the actuator a tiny bit one way, a tiny bit the other way.
So they jiggled it?
And they jiggled it.
They jiggled
and
it.
they got it back. That got the lubrication back on all the gears, and they were back and running.
I love it that it's just like, hey, let's just jiggle it a little bit. You know, it's like when any piece of technology is not working and you like hit it a little bit. It's like let's just
it's basically
and then it starts working.
A billion mile away. Bam.
Yeah, all right.
That's exactly what happened. So on September 28th, they were back on track. The observations of Saturn officially ended, and they ended up sending 16,000 images of the full system back to Earth. Thank you, Voyager.
Before we leave Saturn.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is from NASA. It's a NASA website. All right. So I mean, it's legit.
It's
not
it's
like
legit.
Wikipedia
It's
where
from
you have to think about
NASA.
it.
It's legit.
All right. So as it flew past Saturn in August 1981, Voyager 2 passed through the plane of Saturn's rings at a speed of 8 miles per second. So
That's quick.
So let's just assume 100 miles. Oh shit! It's leaking.
Yeah.
At its thickest, 100 miles at its thickest for the rings, which is not what it is. No. It would have taken 12 seconds to get through it. Anyway.
Yeah. So Voyagers get from one coast of the United States to the other coast, and I think it was 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Anyway,
can we have that flight travel time?
We would die.
During this
inertial
phase,
dampeners.
The spacecraft was hit by thousands of dust grains that created plasma as they vaporized. As they vaporized at Voyager 2.
Shields up.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. The whole vaporizing of thousands of little. So according to NASA, at least Voyager 2 went through the.
All right.
Got hit by some dust.
Yeah.
In the Planetarium.
Liz.
Yeah.
Mike, take a drink.
Okay.
Take a good drink.
Oh, hold on.
I'm gonna take a good drink.
Wait, what did I add to my drink? Was it the alcohol?
It's the alcohol. So now you want to stir it.
I'm gonna take a good drink and
Hold
one
on.
more.
This
is why I have the grand
ASMRs.
pour for this exact section here coming up.
Otherwise, all your alcohol sitting on top. Maybe that's what you want, but
I don't mind.
Ooh, all right.
Spill.
I don't know why it spilled.
Anyway, we have taken a drink.
Wait, what was it?
So here
what
we go.
alcohol am I drinking now? Is it vodka?
It
the
is,
alcohol
no,
kind.
You got bourbon and...
it just came out clear.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's...
Okay.
Well, it also was ice. So
All right, taking this back in because I'm going to go overtime here and I don't have enough drinks to take the 1 drink per minute. All right, so we have another problem at this point. After Saturn, actually, yeah, right after Saturn, like a week after Saturn, basically.
Okay.
And I just want to look at pretty planets, explore the cosmos, talk about the stars, do really cool shit. So this next part, I actually teared up multiple times with anger and frustration.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, Hans Mark was his name. He was the deputy director, the second in command of NASA. He told JPL during a ceremony right after the successful exploration of Saturn that JPL needed to find other means of funding because NASA cannot afford to do Voyager anymore. All right. Hold this. So first of all, what a shitty ass time to announce that you're celebrating the exploration of Saturn and you're saying your shit's fucked, even if you find more money. But Hans Mark, he had a history of, escaping Germany, being involved deep in the defense program. And keep in mind, this is still the Cold War. So he believed...
How are we escaping Germany?
He was a Nazi. I was going to ask if he was a Nazi. And
Did you Google it?
I don't think he was a Nazi, actually.
Well, didn't he escape the East Germany?
Mike's going to research for a second. Or we'll hang out to this to the hangover, because let's just have the Davison moment.
She almost did it.
Okay, so Hans Mark, he believed that planetary exploration was not a priority, and that the nation should focus more on defense with the Soviet Union. Because at this time, the Soviet Union just added 1,000 nuclear warheads.
All right, I mean, fine. Fine.
So we're going to save most of our stuff for the hangover. Because of lots of things happening in the world. So in this speech to JPL and the celebration, he said, quote, "Exploration is one of the measures of worth a society holds once its survival is assured."
Okay, so it's a luxury.
Yes, which I understand. It is a luxury, honestly, but not to the Okay, so he wanted the minds
already
of JPL,
out there.
He wanted the minds of JPL to work for defense instead of the military.
No, these are scientific minds.
During this time in the 80s, that went in line with the Reagan policy of reducing spending while increasing defense funding. Wait for it, for Star Wars. No, we're not drinking to that.
Okay.
No,
it was a legit thing.
This is the SEI program, and of course, an increased
Space
pressure.
Force of the 70s.
Yeah, pretty much.
And of course, it was increasing pressure on the space shuttle to make it more militaristic as well. So coming out from many different angles.
Why do we do this, humans? Humans. I speak to all human beings of the human species.
So
Can we stop?
I had mentioned Bruce Murray early on as head of JPL for a reason.
Yes.
Because he also spearheaded a lot of the Planetary Research Fund, and we'll talk about him and the Planetary Society in a moment. But Bruce Murray and NASA and JPL, they could not get a meeting with the White House to fight back. They refused to take a meeting with NASA. So, I know. So because they couldn't get a meeting, NASA didn't. This is what they did. They did not appropriate the funding as the White House requested. Instead, NASA was going to make the White House officially make the cuts themselves, which would not be popular because Reagan's home state was California, where JPL was located.
Fuck yes, Pasadena.
Now,
fuck yes.
I just want to say,
rebels.
Yes. Fuck Reagan.
Also, yes.
I'm good with that.
Yes.
So the Planetary Society, with Carl Sagan and later on Bruce Murray, but not quite yet, they sent thousands of letters to D.C. They were all unopened.
Fucking hell.
They sent them back to NASA instead and said, you deal with it. So what they did, Bruce Murray and NASA, they got a close friend of Reagan named Ed Meese to watch the Voyager 2 close approach to Saturn. And they knew JPL, Bruce, took them there for a reason because they had the ear of the president. Mm-hmm. And so Murray said, quote, "Why would America relinquish its leadership in deep space to the Russians? For what earthly reason should the United States give up the chance to explore Uranus and Neptune for the first time ever?"
Yes.
What did Ed Meese say to that? Because he's an asshole, too.
No, he said that, right?
No,
Ed said that.
This is Murray.
Ed Meese was Riker's friend.
Okay. Murray said that.
Well, okay, so here's what happened after that conversation. And after you get to set, you see the rings. It's a glorious experience. We'll talk about the media reaction and public reaction in the next episode. So JPL and the media, they were fighting at this time for a mission to Halley's Comet. And Halley's Comet has, every 76 years, is it?
Something like that. It was around in 86, 87, something like that.
Yeah. So they were trying to get a mission to go to Halley's Comet. And so the decision on whether or not we would create a mission to go explore this comet was kind of a weather balloon to see what the political tides went. If we did, good things. If they didn't. So that mission was never selected.
Yeah, okay.
Bruce Murray, head of JPL at this time and future leader of Planetary Society, called this the lowest point in his life. Because in this month of September, rather, there was rumors of the Deep Space Network being shut down. So Deep Space Network is how we communicate with any craft beyond the moon. There was rumors of Galileo, the mission that would go to Jupiter, being canceled, of JPL itself even being done as a NASA center. And Bruce Murray said, the United States is backing away from being number one in deep space. And however, he also said JPL must evolve. So Murray managed to save JPL by striking a deal with the Army. Because originally it was the Air Force that wanted to do the whole thing and basically take over JPL. So he said with the Army, they would increase the amount of work they did for battlefield coordination systems. So originally, 6% of JPL's work went towards defense. But this deal, quote unquote, would increase it to 30%. So 30% of the mind to explore the universe will now go to defense and blowing shit up. And he said again in a meeting, quote, Hans Mark's vision of the future was coming true, and I had become a character in it.
Oh, wow.
So I know this is like a mini episode in an episode, but in a follow-up meeting with JPL senior leadership, so after Bruce Murray said these things, after he's trying to fight and get these deals done to save planetary exploration, Hans Mark said that Murray's obsession with planetary exploration and unwillingness to work with defense programs put JPL at great risk. What a fucking asshole.
I mean, God, it has...
I'll take another drink here.
God, we're so... Can we stop
militarizing everything?
So,
yes. Can we just be
So 3 months later, Bruce Murray's trying to salvage what he can, hold strings together. He had a press conference, and I'm going to just do this whole quote.
Okay.
He said, quote, in this press conference, "The last several years have been especially hard on dreamers and visionaries, like so many of us at JPL. Now that we have passed the nadir point, recognized the change, shifted direction slightly, negotiated the initial arrangements to permit a new direction for JPL, the fact is that the director, which is Bruce Murray, himself has got to ask himself, is he willing to lead JPL entirely through the next decade? But that time has come, and I have notified President Goldberger of my intention to step down as JPL director."
Oh, wow.
He just wanted to explore the cosmos and explore the comet and know what is around the Earth and appreciate nature.
That's the whole point of space exploration.
So yes, he did step down. However, he did end up helping to lead the Planetary Society. He did great things later on as well. Yes. But in his place, Dr. Lou Allen, they called him Dr. Lou Allen for reasons. He actually was a 4-star general, a former deputy director of the CIA, former director of the NRO, and Air Force Chief of Staff became the new head of JPL.
Oh, no. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, okay. No, but also somehow it kind of worked out. So he announced Dr. Allen, not General Allen. This was a decision made.
Okay.
Dr. Allen said that only 20% of JPL's work would go towards defense.
Oh, great.
And the SDI program, again, Reagan Star Wars, a lot of that would be to tracking missiles as they came and hit the United States and shooting them down. Okay.
Okay, but that's not
SDI didn't
JPL's
fucking
job.
work anyway.
Yeah, that's the military's job.
That's
You
the
fucking
military's
track
job.
your own fucking military
but
shit.
JPL NASA has some of the greatest minds, and the military wanted that.
Well, I don't know. Recruit smart people into the fucking military. I don't know. Jesus, come on.
It's difficult to recruit people when your pitch line is be all that you can be and blow people up, or come explore the goddamn universe.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, okay,
smart
quick
people
moment.
know better.
Quick moment. Did you know it is illegal for NASA to promote itself to hire employees? It's against the law for NASA to promote itself to hire people.
Well,
Why?
what?
Fuck if I know,
I mean,
but it's a law in place.
but
There's an appropriation back in, I think, the early 2000s.
I mean, but it's still hard to get into work for NASA.
Because everybody will go to NASA?
I fucking hope so. All right.
I mean, we all try to apply to NASA at least once.
Anyway, we got
Doesn't
two
work.
others planets.
All right, so Voyager survived through all of this.
Yes.
Other programs, however, did not survive or were drastically cut. Elizabeth had a moment, say, "Hey, we should," she said in the chat, "do an episode on program cuts or things like that." That's a book, Elizabeth. Okay, that's a book.
Don't get Brandon started.
All right, anyway, Uranus.
All right, so no, we're not going to Uranus. We're going to Georgia Star. Because I myself believe in William and Caroline Herschel.
No, this is my star. Oh, wait a minute. I'm
That's what I said.
Giorgione.
You're
That's exactly what I said.
You're a
Giorgione.
Giorgione.
No, that's Australia. Sorry, Federico. All right.
He's not watching.
He's not listening. He's in Germany.
He'll catch it
I'm gonna
later.
Take another drink because I got myself a little soapbox there.
All right, I'll take a drink with you. Oh, it's a scotch. Giorgione is a scotch. I don't know what a scotch is, but
Is it really? Giorgione's a scotch? We might have to get
do
that.
we have any scotch? We got out of our scotch phase. Anyway, continue, Brandon.
Don't
Scotchy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Georgia Star coming back because we still. One second. We have a thing in the chat.
Yeah, my mom responding to a question.
Oh, Federico!
Hey! Sneaky, you sneaky Italian. And my mom responded to a question earlier about if she remembers any news about Voyagers. She says she doesn't remember much being advertised about Voyager at all to the public.
There may be a reason for that. We'll get to that in a hot second here.
Are we?
So
you got 3 minutes.
I'm not going to make.
He's not going to hold you to it.
Yeah, I know, right? We're not holding you to
it. Focus. I'm not looking at the chat. On September 29th, the day after observations for Saturn ended, course correction was sent, and a spacecraft fired its thrusters to Uranus. Because remember, it wasn't guaranteed Voyager 2 go to the rest of the planets, but we did. I'm not going to go into that.
Yeah, we did. It's cool. It's the only spacecraft that ever went there.
So let's fast forward and go back to November 4th, 1985.
I was in the world now.
You're ready to go. So that is when the observations began for Georgia Star.
Oh yeah, you are in the world.
Yeah.
By a couple months.
But as you may remember from science class, that planet, Georgia Star, I'm going to say Georgia Star from now on, is tilted 98 degrees from its orbital plane, which means it's on its side.
It's a fucking tilty Uranus.
So because of this, only the southern hemisphere was illuminated, and that meant Voyager would only have a few hours to complete the flyby. So for perspective, Jupiter and Saturn, it had several days to complete that flyby. But due to the tilt and shit, only a couple hours.
Oh, man.
And so remember that scanning platform?
Yep.
Fucking time for it to go.
Hey.
So as Voyager approached, just 11 hours before the close approach, it discovered that Uranus's magnetosphere was also tilted, but only by 59 degrees.
Oh.
So nothing really matched. It then passed within 18,000 miles of the moon Miranda, which if you're a Firefly or Serenity fan, I always hear Miranda and go, Miranda. Deep cut. If you think the meow was a deep cut, Miranda. And then it just passed.
The meow's more of a deep cut.
It passed within 50,000 miles of Uranus itself.
Oh, not bad.
Sorry, of Georgia Star itself.
Oh, not bad.
And on its way out, of course, it photographed the rings, discovered the rings, found the full system. Unfortunately, to Karen's point, there wasn't much media attention. There wasn't much fanfare because, that same day, Challenger.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So, And there's a great documentary called The Farthest on PBS. It is honestly my favorite documentary of all time, but it talks about this moment as well, and just how muted the moment was passing Uranus for the first time because of Challenger.
Man, but if you think about it, everybody on Challenger would be so fucking excited about this Uranus.
They would be,
right,
and that's a whole other episode.
But for a generation, it was a shock.
Yeah.
I guess it was.
Speaking for myself,
yes,
I was not around for Apollo 1, so I didn't experience that. And you get accustomed to the shuttle going up, doing its thing, and then coming back down.
Right.
And, you
forget the risk.
You forget the risk. And then, but also for Challengers, there was so much excitement that we were going to send just a member of the public.
Teacher.
The teacher and McAuliffe and
Christine.
And I remember sitting in English class, and the principal. It was such a thing. The principal came on the loudspeaker and said that there was an accident with the shuttle, that it exploded. We don't know if anybody has survived it. And in my head, it was, no, nobody survived it. But I remember it was a Shakespeare test.
That's weird, because my only moment for that kind of a thing that happened was 9/11.
Yeah, and then you go to the library. I did not, for lunch. I ate lunch, but then I also went to the library, and it's like Reagan being shot. It's just on a loop, and you watch the explosion over and over and over again, and it was a shock. I mean, it was a complete shock. And
so, my most proud job I've ever had, the job I've been most proud of, Planetarium, talking to audiences for Planetarium is my favorite job, but the one I've been most proud of is working with a space flight awareness program who works with the astronauts to promote human space flight safety. And now that you brought that up, I'm thinking about it. In the next season, we're going to have a guest on to talk about the astronauts and their safety and that program.
Hey, I like it. I like it. I'm for it.
But I mean, it was we watched it happen. And sure, I watched it on delay, but it was a shock because you are so used to it being successful. And like if we were to launch a rocket now and it were to explode, which always makes me nervous with
every time.
Yeah.
Bezos.
SpaceX and Bezos and all that kind of stuff.
Bezos gets to launch a goddamn rocket to space, just saying.
Yeah.
It's it would be a shock because it's just so unexpected.
And just to quote in chat, Elizabeth in chat, safety is cool.
Safety is cool, yeah.
It's cool, folks.
So how that discussion changed the discussion in this episode, you can imagine just what it was in the public and the media.
So,
just how Uranus
Uranus.
Great, but sorry, Georgia Star.
Yeah, but it was 7 lives. That was I don't remember Uranus at all.
We have a lot to talk about in the next season, because things I want to do. All right, so up next, we're not done yet. We got another fucking planet.
Yeah, it's not just Uranus or Georgia Star.
It's my fucking star, everybody.
And we're gonna have this one go quick. We have Neptune, which is my personal favorite planet of all time. So here we go again. On June 5th, 1989, observations began of Neptune. Now, keep in mind, it launched in, 1975, I want to say? And here we are in 1989. So people that worked on this mission, they were maybe young kids at the time. They've since,
grown up.
They've been married. They have kids now. It's just the whiplash they had. And again, the show, the documentary, The Farthest goes over this, and we'll talk about this in the next episode, part 2 later on. Just the feelings they had of going through life and having this spacecraft with them, and now seeing the final planet, the last thing they're going to see in Neptune.
Hey, Ron.
God, I can't imagine that. Like,
yes.
Yeah, in Germany. Imagine, just like you're like 23 and you start this job,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're in your like late 30s or early 40s and you finally reach just that progression of being on a job that long and seeing that progress.
Non-stop cadence of time in life.
And most of that job is just waiting.
That's a good quote, actually.
Non-stop
I kind of like that.
Of time in life.
Time in life.
You heard it.
I'm kind of proud of that.
Brandon,
so here they are. It is the nadir, to say earlier. It is the last point we'll have of the solar system before the final mission begins.
Is it?
The final.
Is it the nadir?
Nadir, the changing point.
I don't. Okay,
right?
Thank you, because I was like, I don't know what that word means.
Nadir is the lowest point. It's the point beneath your feet.
Oh, nadir. Okay, you're right. So
Zenith.
Zenith is the point above you.
Yeah. Okay, so I take that back. I got too fancy. So in any case, this time Voyager 2 discovered 6 moons on its own. Excellent.
Oh wow.
And it got closer to Neptune, again my favorite planet, than any other object. It got within 3,408 miles of the cloud tops.
Wow, that's close.
Insanely fucking close.
That's wild. And that's when the Great Red Spot. Sorry,
Dark spot.
Jupes. Great Dark Spot was in full storm mode.
With the fastest winds in the solar system.
Yes.
Hell yeah,
up to 1,000 miles per hour.
Neptune has the fastest moons, but the Great Dark Spot's gone.
Winds.
Winds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said moons.
Neptune
That's
has
the alcohol
the
because it's Cosmos with Cosmos, and now it's hitting the
Welcome to the goddamn
The Cosmos
show.
is hitting the Cosmos.
Neptune has the fastest winds, but the Great Dark Spot is gone.
Yes, it's gone. Well, I'm just quickly. Why is Neptune your favorite planet?
So when I was growing up, Neptune
was the ninth. It when you were growing up.
So I do love William. Sorry, that wasn't William Herschel. I apologize. Remind me who discovered Neptune? What was the names?
It was the math people.
With math?
Math people.
It was math people.
It was math people.
It was math people. It was the dorks, not the nerds. It was the dorks. So when I was growing up, Neptune was the 9th planet in the solar system because Pluto and Neptune's paths cross each other.
Right, that's right. Pluto was
so
closer.
It was the furthest
recently.
out planet receiving the least attention. I'm like, I love you, Neptune. And I can't. It's basically, so in my mind, it's like going to the rescue shelter for a dog and picking out the one that loves you the most because it's in the rescue shelter. Like that's Neptune to me. It's furthest out. It's not loved.
Is it the
I
furthest
love
from?
it the most. The farthest from, yes. What is that movie quote I'm thinking of? It's from. I'll think of it later on.
Okay.
Why are we drinking?
Because the farthest from is a Star Wars reference.
Oh God damn it! That's the quote I was looking for. I'm such an idiot.
Who am I with right now?
This is the Grand Tour.
I did not hear him say it.
I said it.
Oh, you said it.
I said it.
Well, so in any case,
I can't really hear you.
3,000 miles from the surface of Neptune. It got within 25,000 miles of the moon Triton, where, despite temperatures of negative 392 degrees Fahrenheit, it discovered motherfucking geysers.
Fucking geysers.
That cut off
weirdest
at a
fucking
90-degree angle.
geysers.
It's great.
And it looks like a fucking cantaloupe, this moon.
All right.
We still do not know why it makes that.
No,
that
it's fucking
turn.
weird. Check it out.
We have
an
ideas,
episode
but
on
I
it,
didn't
I
research
think,
that.
somewhere.
But I'm going to finish my drink because I am over my limit before I get to the final section.
Yes. I love it. Was there a cinnamon stick in there?
This is where we need to make a reference to like Star Wars.
You had a cinnamon stick in there? Nice.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm a little sorry about that, but before, so we're going to talk about interstellar space for the next episode because we're out of fucking time. Yeah. So I want to talk about Voyager 2 today.
Okay.
So the full interstellar story is going to wait for another week, and there was a great back and forth of has it or hasn't it left the solar system that went on for years for Voyager 1. But Voyager 2 officially left the solar system December 2018.
Yes.
Now, Voyager 1 went back and forth, but Voyager 2 didn't go back and forth because it had its plasma spectrometer, the PLS, still operating. So it was much easier to tell.
And that registers the plasma it's receiving from the sun
versus
interstellar space. Yeah, yes. So it can be like, oh, cut off. We're in interstellar space now.
And the best way that I've heard the definition of the solar system is that the Voyagers officially left the sun.
They left the sun.
They left the sun.
But they're not past the Oort cloud.
No, but you have passed the influence of the sun.
The influence of the sun, okay.
Which at this point is like the solar wind.
Right. Yeah.
It's where
it's out of God's reach.
It's where the solar wind of all the other stars beat back the solar wind of the sun.
Yes.
So.
That's wild. The solar wind of other stars is greater than the solar wind of the sun. All right. Anyway.
So at that time in 2018, Voyager 2 was estimated to have 5 to 10 years left of life. And we, right now, July 21st, 2024, also moon landings. It's going to be the hangover. Hangover's the moon landings.
Oh, okay.
We're in year 8 of that estimation. So
it's fine. It's going to be fine.
Well, they also said it was going to live 5 years.
Yeah, they estimate a lot of things, and those estimations tend to be incorrect because our spacecrafts are hardy and fucking long-lived.
But what we know for a fact, because many of its operations still on. For example, I'm on the NASA JPL website right now.
Of course. The
cosmic ray subsystem, the low energy charged particles, the magnetic wave, the plasma wave subsystem, the plasma science PLS, they are all still operating on Voyager 1.
Nice.
But in the coming year, honestly, the next 2 years, they're going to be turned off one by one to communicate with
save energy, right?
To save energy.
Yes,
because those RTGs at the very end, those 65,000 electronic components, they are slowly failing.
And they want to be able to basically maintain communication as long as possible.
The goal has been set to make these a 50-year mission. So that's 3 years from now.
Man,
for a 50-year mission.
That's 45 years longer than the Star Trek mission.
Keep in
45
mind.
45 years longer than the initial Star Trek mission.
Yeah.
And keep on. They're moving at 3.3 astronomical units a year. And okay, so for more perspective, because this is the good part. Voyager 2, which is closer than Voyager 1, mind you. You turn light on in your bedroom. Light instantly fills the room because the speed of light is fucking fast. The sun peaks up from over the mountaintops, hits you instantaneously.
Yeah. Well,
it takes light.
From
over the mountains, yes.
Yeah.
But it takes light 18 hours, 53 minutes, and 52 seconds to reach Voyager 2. That's how far away it is. Wow. And there have been close calls of Voyagers not working anymore. Most recently, just this year, which we're talking about Voyager 1. But these things, you talk about modern marvels, you talk about the 7 wonders of the world. I swear to fucking God, this, like, when the sun expands and swallows the Earth, and the solar system is done and fried,
Voyager's still going to be going out there.
Will still be one of our low emissaries.
Voyagers are greater than the pyramids.
It's not just Voyager. Pioneer 10. Pioneer 11.
Because they're fucking overlooked. And New Horizons will be out there as well.
Horizons.
So we'll have a smattering of our finger human prints out to the cosmos when we are dead and gone. That's another good line. I like that one.
Let's end it.
Okay, yeah, end it.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Voyager Part 1, Voyager 2. Join us next time for The Hangover. We talk about what's up in the sky. And then is Voyager Part 2, Voyager 1, is that rounding out our season, or do we have more after that?
Well, it'll be the next one is August, High in the Sky.
Yeah, we have to figure out because we do have.
I know what it is.
We have to make a little adjustment in schedule with September.
I know it is. It is August, High in the Sky. It is Voyager Part 2, Voyager 1. September, High in the Sky, and then that's it for the season.
Okay, excellent.
Okay.
And then, as much so, I love this episode, but this, keep in mind, was still, the veggies, the healthy part of the Voyagers. Because up next, for the next episode, it's getting to the shit I'd love to talk about. So join us for that. I'm very excited. And if you're still with us right now, stay around for The Hangover. We'll have a great time. I'm going to lead some things. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And follow us on all things, folks.
Cheers,
Thanks for joining us. I love this episode.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you next time.
All right, we'll be right back for The Hangover. Hang tight.
It doesn't.
Hey,
It
welcome.
doesn't matter what direction you go. I'm a punk. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Welcome to the Hangover.
Oh, fuck you! I won't do what you tell me.
Sitting on half of it, so it's not my fault.
So welcome to Hangover, folks. We just talked about Voyagers. We're gonna go down the deep rabbit hole in the Hangover
one Voyager
episode.
Because the other Voyager.
We talked a little bit about Voyager 1.
All right, yeah.
It's bits and pieces of it.
Voyager 1 needs to wait.
Yes.
Yeah. But one of my favorite things about Rage Against the Machine and that song "Fuck You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me," which is what I quoted earlier on. There was one time. What's it? Wait. What's the name of the song?
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. I can't think of it. I know
right?
we're both.
I hear the chorus.
We're both.
So in any case, at one point, Rage Against the Machine was on the BBC. And the BBC asked them, hey, you know what? This is like a family program. We have people. We have censors. Can we just don't do the cursing? And they go, yeah, sure, of course, no problem. And so they start up, and the first fucking song is, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And you can listen to this on YouTube, and they cut the audio and go to the announcer like, oh, how dare you ask Rage Against the Machine not to curse when you know what the whole message is?
Yeah.
In any case.
Yeah. Meanwhile, their ticket prices are.
Well, yeah.
Such fucking capitalism.
Anyway.
Killing in the name.
Killing in the name.
Yep.
Killing in the name.
All right. So we had talked about how if you're here live for the Hangover, yesterday was the 55th anniversary of Apollo 11 landing on the moon.
Double nickels.
And for all the Apollos, there's a great website called Apollo in Real Time, in which you can access any of the Apollos and follow them as they launch from the Earth and they land.
Did you listen to the whole thing the whole time?
I've done it many times. In fact, you have the Google photos saying, hey, remember this day 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And there's my party I had for the 50th anniversary. But that is a great moment to have and to kind of relive the calm and collected notion.
Hey, we're gonna show here.
It's my daughter.
Just like in any planetarium show, if I see someone on their cell phone, I'm gonna call them out. All right, we're gonna show here.
It's my daughter.
Attention, we don't care. She can wait.
What's that Rage Against the Machine?
You know what Mike just said? Mike said, "Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me."
What's that Rage lyric?
We just talked about it. If you were paying attention and not texting, then maybe you would know it.
Fuck you, I'll do what I want.
No, it's not what it is, but okay.
And this is how we get banned from YouTube. Fuck you, I won't do
We're not monetized. We're not monetized, so it's.
Oh! I was basing my whole retirement based off of the YouTube streams we got.
Well, on Spotify, we made like $20 before they switched things where we can't make any more money until we get a certain amount of followers. But anyway,
let's come back to the Hangover because there are rules apparently here. Scene. So going back to the 55th anniversary.
No,
fucking damn it! I just said scene.
All right, I'm with you.
Oh, I gotta stir this.
Well, so we had the 55th anniversary of the Apollo landings, and I'm gonna read to you one of my absolute favorite quotes about the landing, and just kind of what it meant. And this is kind of a quick little one. So they just landed. And you're watching it on TV. They go, yes, the astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Mike Collins, the last keeping solitary vigil in lunar orbits, displayed death-defying courage. Because, of course, not part of the quote. Neil Armstrong only had 20 seconds left of fuel before he had to leave the moon. And he took manual control to land on the planet itself. And
Planet?
Moon. Planete, if you will. The Wanderer.
Whatever.
And his heart rate was 110 as he landed on the moon. Now, just the other day, Friday, I watched the documentary of him landing on the moon, and it took my own heartbeat as I watched him land on the moon because I was getting kind of excited. Like, I love this moment. But I'm sitting on the couch. I'm in dark space. I'm
not
happy.
In space, risking your life.
Yeah,
it was 110
landing on the goddamn moon. Mine was 116.
Oh my god.
God fucking damn it.
Your life was not in peril.
Yeah, hanging out with a glass of water.
Wasn't Buzz Aldrin like 80?
Yes, his was definitely below 110.
I mean, it's Buzz, man. It's Buzz. You got a little Buzz, you just chill. This is Buzz, man.
Yes, that was the death-defying curve.
Are you okay, Davison?
I pulled a Davison.
Yes. And
dude,
then,
Biden dropped out way below before we were drinking. Elizabeth.
We're not there yet. I'm doing
my
quote.
We're not at that yet.
I'm doing my quote.
We'll get to that.
Because this quote is from Sagan. So yes, the death-defying courage was the heart rate and making sure they got the job done because they're professionals and they got it done. They say, yes, as Armstrong said as he first alighted, this was a historic step for the human species. But if you turned off the biplane between Mission Control and the Sea of Tranquility with its deliberately mundane and routine chatter and stared into the black and white television monitor, you could glimpse that we humans had entered the realm of myth and legend. Because when you look up in the sky, you see Hercules, you see Pericles, you see Medusa, you see the heroes of legend, and there we fucking are. Establishes.
Oh, we're back now. Okay.
So that to me establishes the idea.
Moment.
The whole dramatic moment was fucked up by our
The whole thing?
It's fine.
Do I need to go back?
No, it's
just
fine.
the last little bit.
We got it.
Sorry.
Myth and legend. We're good.
But that to me emphasizes, and of course, just this last week, I was fortunate enough to talk to 60 students coming into, I'm sorry, the best planetarium in the world right now. Honestly, I got to talk to them about space and about the stars and the constellation of the planets. That is why we do this. That we have entered myth and legend. Mm-hmm. It is not about the politics. That yes, we beat the Soviet Union. Yes, of course we made the fact known that our technology, our politics, our people are better than yours, apparently. But what it's about...
This is a human... It's a human endeavor. It has nothing to do with country borders.
Yes, exactly. And what it's about is that we humans have entered the realm of the legends. Mm-hmm. We're exploring what we have always wanted to know. Mm-hmm. Neil Armstrong's name will never be forgotten.
No, true.
Apollo might be, United States might be, but Armstrong...
I mean...
That will be a legend forever.
Just like Alexander the Great.
Yeah, that was thousands of years. No, honestly, though.
So whether it's reviled...
We know where he's buried, yes. We know where Armstrong is buried.
Whether it's reviled or loved, Alexander lives forever. Armstrong will live forever.
Yeah. Only few people get their names in that realm of history, because there's you can memorize all the kings of England if you really fucking want to, but at most you're gonna remember a handful and not remember when they were.
I will say Armstrong may have been the best person to land on the moon. Others may have capitalized on the idea. Mm-hmm. They may have gone around the world.
He seemed like a very down to earth guy.
Nice. And what he did when he got back, he went to go teach physics.
I mean,
he shied away from yes, of course they did the tour in the world because you had to do that at that point. Right. But he just loved the math, the physics. He was a regular dude.
Can you imagine taking a physics class from him?
Oh my god.
No. Can you imagine taking a physics class from him, studying Newton's mechanics,
dude,
and then him legit talking about how you use Newton to
and I'd be like, dude, you went to the moon
with that dude.
One of my professors was Jim Bell, who's now the head of the Planetary Society, but he's worked with cameras and Perseverance and Curiosity. Like, I had a tough time not geeking out with him, but to have Armstrong as the University of Ohio, I think, professor, like, goddamn, he was the best emissary.
I mean, Newton got him there. You have two pillars right there in the same classroom.
Both of their names not going to be forgotten in
and frankly,
human history.
Had they ever met each other, they would have been nice to meet you and not talk to each other ever again.
Pretty much.
No, probably, yeah. No,
because they were both like. Yeah. I obviously Newton was far on that spectrum, but Armstrong was just a dude that liked being by himself and enjoyed his job. That's what he did. He was a test pilot.
He's a private guy.
He was a test pilot that got the job done. God damn it.
He's not. Yeah. He's not the kind of guy that's whose mouth's writing checks his body can't cash.
And yes, I do wonder had the Apollo 1. So the Apollo 1 crew was originally meant to have landed on the moon first, and they were
Apollo 1.
They were great individuals, and they would have played the media the exact right way. But I still don't know if they could have been any better than Armstrong. He landed, he did it, and he recluded because had he owned it, had he been the one I landed on the moon first, I am selling these books. It would have taken away the accomplishment of humanity in general and given it to a single individual.
Right.
But instead, it belongs to everyone.
Or America, but no, everyone. No, I'm just kidding. It's everyone.
What am I other?
I'm gonna say it's the world. I mean, because the world stopped for a moment and watched.
Did that was
right? Because the moon is for everybody.
Yes, and 25%. Well, I think it was 25% of humanity watched the moon landing.
Oh my god! I wish I was alive for that time.
55 years ago today, the world was united. Even if the Soviet Union wasn't broadcasting it live. Oh, yes. We were united. The Soviet Union wanted to go there.
Did the Soviet Union broadcast it live? I would have bet they would have, because if it failed, they were the first ones to show it.
It'd be like, ha.
Yeah, but also if it's successful, they don't want to show that. But whether they did or didn't, it doesn't matter.
It's still
because
and then
for a brief moment 55 years ago, the world is united.
Now, we were united for the right reason, but we did it for the wrong purpose. We did not do it for exploration to expand.
It was to beat the other guy.
I do feel that that's worth at least pointing out in this conversation.
I feel like that's all of America's history, though. It's always to beat the other guy. Like, we do shit first to beat the other guy.
If you look at Kennedy's speech, we will land on the moon not because right before he said it, he talked specifically about the Soviet Union and the war, the indirectional war that we are in with them, that we must be first. That was the whole point, was to say, hey, our dick is bigger than yours.
Yeah,
that was the whole purpose.
It's all testosterone based.
Right, but still, let's not take away from what we did.
Regardless of the reasons and why we did it, and then,
Yeah, for right now, let's just, on the 55th anniversary.
A human accomplishment happened.
Yes, let's be excited.
Back to dorks.
Let's be excited that we did it. For the 364 other days, we can discuss the ulterior motives and that kind of stuff.
All right, so here's one of my favorite quotes on the moon. So we, of course, have magnificent desolation in one small step. But one of my favorite things, I think, was made of cheese. Cheese, grommets! I think this was Apollo... I don't think it was, maybe in 16. But anyway, they were on the moon doing the thing, and one of the astronauts starts singing the song. I was walking on the moon one day, on the very, very month of May. And the other she goes, December! Well, first of all, he's just quoting the song, making it sound nice. And this other astronaut's like, "Oh, this is December. Get the fucking right."
I would.
I just enjoyed it. He's singing the song, enjoying his life.
Yeah, but they had a good laugh about it, actually.
They did have a good laugh.
Federico in chat said the title of the newspaper he has that day was "They Won."
wait, a couple questions. Federico, can you send that? To take a picture? That sounds
I'm sorry, Brandon's obsessed with newspapers, so...
I have newspapers above me right now.
He's obsessed with old newspapers.
I really wish that we had the 1969 moon landing.
Wait, I'm going to move my camera. Ready?
Brandon has it.
Okay.
Wow. Hey.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
I can't... I'm going to wait until...
Yeah, it's good.
We got it. It's good.
Right,
it's good.
Cool. That's my favorite thing I have. And if my house burns down...
That's what you grab.
Well... Yeah.
Well, honestly, you're in concrete, so you're pretty safe. But yeah, you grab that and Smeegs. Yeah, don't fucking leave Smeegs behind.
I have many other newspapers I want to keep. But yes.
If any are related to baseball, fuck it. You grab the moon one, and you grab Smeegs, and that's it.
I have priorities. And I like my plants, by the way. My plants.
Yeah, it's growing well in the background. What's his name again? Did you name him?
Pedro.
Pedro, that's right. Pedro's doing good.
I like how we're on the plane going to South Carolina and all these other stuff, and they're like, should we have to land, emergency landing, don't grab your stuff. Shit. I'm like, I'm grabbing my shit.
Yeah, there was video apparently of an emergency landing, people trying to grab their shit, and it was caused to just mayhem.
Yeah, just fucking
people were pissed off.
I'm gonna grab my little bag.
I'm gonna have my cell phone because that's just gonna be
sure. With me. Grab your cell phone. Sure. Grab your passport because that's with you anyway. It's your passport, by the way. When you travel international, PSA, do not put your passport in your bag and a carry-on above your head, keep it in a pocket. At the very least, put it in the pocket right in front of you.
Yeah.
Don't put it in
keep it with you.
I don't put it in the pocket in front of me because I'm so paranoid about leaving it.
It stays in my pocket every single time.
Yeah. If I had one, it would be on.
We got to work on that because we got to go to Japan and New Zealand.
And
we're going to be moving soon. So
What?
Wait, what?
Oh. No, everything's going to turn out well. Everything's going to turn out well.
Oh,
and we're not going to talk
that's
about
why
that in
we're
this
moving.
podcast.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You sent it to us already?
Send it to
your number.
We're posting it.
Oh, I just got a WhatsApp.
Hey,
well,
look at
the
that.
two of you being like.
Oh, that's so
I
fucking
love
cool.
This is international relations. This is what this is how it
sorry,
happens.
I didn't want to show that was number.
It was so
right
blown out. It's blown out. Oh, wait a minute.
I didn't want to have his number.
Cool.
That's the coolest
the top of your
fucking
head.
thing.
Cool. Huh?
I saw the top of your
You saw
head
the
in the
top of my
reflection
head?
of the.
Oh.
Because I can't pronounce that word.
Also, I just, for everybody out there, I tried to do, because we're in the 70s, I tried to do like a Farrah Fawcett blowout. It didn't work.
Sorry. Federico, that's the coolest fucking thing.
I did not
Thank
even
you.
notice that.
Yeah, I know. It didn't. But I was like, woo.
Federico, you can email it to me. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys. It's I love it. I love it.
Oh, he kept it from his mother. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Oh.
The other thing I want to find newspapers of Gagarin. I desperately want original papers of Gagarin's launch somewhere here. I would love that.
You can find that. You can get that. You can go to Moscow.
I've been looking.
Anyway, we did it. We went to
Yeah.
the moon. Double nickels ago, we did it.
Double nickels.
So let me ask you this: if you were the individual to step foot on Mars, what would your word be? What would your first words?
Oh, you can't. Look,
I can't.
No, because people going to Mars. First of all, they know who's going to do it, who's going to step out to Mars first. But also, you have like 6 to 9 months to figure out what you're saying.
It would 100. If I did it, 100%, it would be.
Holy shit!
It would be some sort of pun joke comment. It would be something.
That's fair.
I would have a lot of time to think about it, but I would, whatever it is, I at the very least would think it would be funny to say whatever I would say.
Okay. I would, as Mike thinks about his general topic. Okay. I think
Federico
I would
born 10 years and 4 hours after the first step.
1969.
I was born 3 days before the first step.
Before the first step. God
damn.
Damn.
Before the first step. I'm sitting there going, "Where's my meal?" And my
you don't know
dad's
what the fuck
out.
is happening at. You don't know You don't know what historic event is happening in the rival
So you
of
are one of the few humans that were born before the events, but have no cognizant memory of it.
Yeah.
So you can say you were born before we became an interplanetary species.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, when I came out, I didn't know we were an interplanetary species, but we were.
Yeah. I mean, from day one, I knew.
Yes,
that we
as
had the
soon as Brandon
rockets.
came out,
And
he
that
was
Jean-Luc
like,
Picard
he
was
had
my
the
captain.
glasses
I
on.
knew immediately.
He was already, he was already
That's why
quoting
it took like
Picard.
15 hours to come out. Sorry, Mom. I love you. I owe you
15
everything.
hours?
Oh man, you see, I don't know.
I took a
how
long
long-
fucking time.
Mom, how long did I take? Oh wait, she had a C-section because I got stuck and I had a cone head. My head was too big to come
I
out.
basically got stuck too, and I refused to come out, but it took a very long time. I apologize.
And they didn't do C-section?
Oh, I'm gonna ask.
It was in too deep. I was out.
You were in the mines of Moria of your mom's vag.
Can I text my mom real quick?
I don't want to hear that ever again. All right. What are we talking about here? Ouch. Okay.
Elizabeth says, I think the first step on Mars would quote, ouch, they need to figure out the gravity part in transportation.
I would have something along the lines of the myth and legend regard. I think I would go to that respect. Or maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
Okay, so Brandon would be very like
apt,
poetic and like grandiose about whatever he says. You would be very like serious about what you said in your quote, and then I would just be very vagrantly.
So we got the spectrum.
I would be irreverent.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
Yes, you would.
Do the Federico quote.
Do the Federico quote. All right. Seen another way, I'm adding a couple of letters there. As soon as Mike was born, humanity searched for another place to live.
Followed by my mom, Liz was a conehead. Yes. And I identify to the movie Coneheads. Hardcore. Yes.
I can agree with Federico. I mean,
search for another place to live. Meanwhile, every murder true crime series we watch, the murders happen around September, and I'm like, yes, I bring her death is what I am.
Okay. All right. So because this is The Hangover and I am leading the episode, I can go any direction I want.
You can.
Did you know? We love Jimmy Carter, right? We love Jimmy Carter.
Yes, he built houses for the homeless, and he's like
one of my
93.
There's also two great documentaries out recently about Jimmy Carter's presidency, and they just make you cry because it's so good. So in any case, we love Jimmy Carter.
Yes.
One's called Carterland. Go check that out. I'll have somebody download it and we can watch it. He tried to get the space shuttle program canceled.
Jimmy, no.
It was too expensive. And the only reason he said, okay, keep it going, is that the NRO convinced him that the space shuttle could launch one time, orbit the Earth once, capture an enemy satellite, and bring it back, launch again, put it back, so they would never know like something went wrong, but it was still in place.
A little bait and switch. He was told that we could do a little bait and switch.
He was still all for the defensive mechanisms of the space program, because in his perspective, the space shuttle, the Voyagers, the Galileos, what have you, the Hubbles, they didn't produce necessarily outcome to improve human life here on Earth. So he said, no, we should spend it here.
But
like
the technology
does, though.
But the technology we have reaped from space exploration is all of our technology.
Yes, but I can imagine when you are in the midst of the Cold War, you need all the money you can.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Because
no, Jimmy Carter was still wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I mean, I guess it's hard to, you don't know when it's like people who are like so against climate change because you're in it, you don't see it's hard to see the broader picture of things when it takes time, when it's over a certain, an expanded length of time. Oh, shit. Well, we're frozen. Oh, God, what a look I have on my face right now. This is great.
And I have just the look I have at you.
Wait. So am I the only one that's being able to be seen and heard in this podcast right now?
We're can you hear us, though?
So
even though our audio...
I can hear you.
You can hear us even though our video is frozen.
Well, maybe they can let us know.
On me just...
So what I will do instead is I'm going to pick a random page from Voyager. Seeking newer worlds in the third great age of discovery by Stephen Pine. So this is the page I'm choosing from.
Why not a camera?
All right. The section's called Voyager's 3 Body Problem.
I can't. Okay.
Voyager 3 what?
Voyager's 3 Body Problem.
Oh,
that's what the section's called.
That.
Yeah. In June 1961. JPL hired UCLA math and physics graduate student Michael Minovsky, I can't say the name, as a summer intern to work on some tricky calculations involving trajectories to and around planets.
They can't see me right now.
No, they can't.
But they can hear you. I won't.
A nice drunk history space edition.
Oh. If I can do a history of drunk space, I'm all for that.
Hey, what?
No,
wait.
You're still out.
Hold on.
You're still out.
Went away.
What the fuck?
All right, so we've been in the hangover for a hot second here. They can still hear us. They can see me, which is the important part. So let's kind of wrap this up here with a closing thought. What do you guys think?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Trying to get
Voyager 2. Which was the first Voyager launch, but the last Voyager to, leave the solar system. it kind of puts into perspective everything, right? I mean, to pass the planets, to learn about George's star, to learn about Neptune, to learn about places we've never dreamed we can go to. Hell, even Johannes Kepler, he of the first science fiction novel trying to get to the moon, can never even think of going to the planets. We ended at the moon to him. So just in our lifetime, your lifetime, Liz,
Yes.
specifically your lifetime,
My lifetime. We're back.
we've seen things we never thought we would have before.
That's very
true.
very true.
So I know in the future we want to see new physics. We want to see our nation and the world come together. But what other things, maybe major, minor, do you want to see happen in the next 40 years? Whether that is discovering new particles, discovering new physics, discovering life out there.
Ooh.
What's one specific thing that you want to see discovered by future Voyagers?
This isn't going to come from future Voyagers.
Mm.
Mike
has a thought. Mike's first.
No, you bring up life. I want life. I want life to be discovered for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
First, it is just the whole idea that we're not alone. You know that you know.
I don't know. Looking at humanity, I'm fine with it
No.
if we're alone.
Well, humanity should be.
But
kind
imagine
of
like a world run by intelligent dogs. Like how nice that would be.
Oh my god, if there was a dog world, I'm all for it. Let's find that world. It's the best world there ever could be.
But I also there's a punk
Yeah.
Killing the name of.
That's
I really want to see people's heads explode over this, and in particular, religious people's heads explode over this. Because a lot of them are like, hey, you know what? There's no life out there. Jesus was just here. Blah 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 blah. But I want to see, because you said that ignoring new physics and all that kind of stuff, I would love to see life discovered elsewhere, and I think James Webb Space Telescope will go a long way to be able to.
Sorry, go ahead.
I would just posit that maybe it would be something like an Europa Clipper mission or the Titan, whatever, who's its mission? I can't remember. Check out our shot on
Hopper,
the Titan.
whatever it's called. Yeah.
That would be the possible first to detect any form of bacterial life in the solar system if present.
You know what I used to say in shows?
Yeah.
Where we would in a Grand Tour show talk about Europa and it being an ice world, and how I would just love for us to spend billions of dollars to get there. It go into the sub ice ocean,
immediately get swallowed,
and immediately get attacked by a squid.
Ahab issue. My mom says they may eat us. How about a Planet of the Apes? We have many movies on the Planet of the Apes, Mom. It doesn't work out well for us non-apes. I'm just saying.
Though there is a Planet of the Apes that we can watch.
That's true. That's true. God, that's so hard because
there's a lot.
There's so much. You know, we, as much as I love James Webb and the images and the science of this deep space exploration that James Webb can provide, because we can't send any spacecraft out into deep space in anyone's lifetime. That's the word I'm looking for. But we Voyager 2, to harken back to the main episode of Voyager Part 1, Voyager 2. Voyager 2 is the only spacecraft to go by Uranus and Neptune. We have not had another spacecraft fly by those planets, whereas with Jupiter we have Juno, with Saturn we had Cassini until its mission time ran out. And the amount that we have learned from Jupiter, about Jupiter and Saturn from those respective missions, is enormous and phenomenal. So we hardly have an understanding of our own solar system. So seeing missions that can go beyond Jupiter and Saturn and can explore these outer planets and the moons, and if we have organisms on our Earth such as tardigrades that can survive extreme conditions, there is a possibility that there are organisms, these extremophiles, that are in and around these other worlds within our solar system, regardless of what is out into space. # Drake equation. But
there's whole doctrines on this planet that says that should not exist. And it is the punk in me that wants to discover it, so it could be a big fuck you to you people. And
May
your
I
absoluteness.
go another step further?
Yes, step it further.
All right. So we have so many things we want to discover. But for me, now that I'm thinking about it, of course, I want to see life discovered, for example. I would love to have that known. But, so there's a theory that if you look at the cosmic microwave backgrounds, and this is the leftover light radiation from the Big Bang itself,
CMB.
Which fun fact, if you still have AM radio in your a car and you go on a drive, go to a channel that's just static, 1% of that static is the leftover radiation from the Big Bang. So you can literally hear.
TV.
Nobody has that TV anymore.
That's why I said radio.
My parents do.
That's specifically why I said the radio. But that you can listen to the Big Bang itself occur at 1%. But so you have a wonderful image of the Big Bang, which is called the face of God at one point. There was a theory that if we wanted to discover the multiverse, other universes, we could look for this in the CMB itself. And if there was a spot that's specifically colder than everywhere else, because the CMB should be fairly uniform-ish, because it expands out and it's fairly uniform, that if you look at that, there should be a spot that's fairly cold, and that may be proof of another universe bumping into our own universe. And lo and behold, what have we discovered like 10 years ago? Was a cold spot where it's a coldest spot. You can't prove that the universe bumped into ours. That's fucking hard to do. You can't fucking prove that.
Right. So
it could be an anomaly.
Let's just be clear.
Yes, be very clear about that.
They have discovered that cold anomaly, but
it's ghost.
It's ghost. It's universal.
They have discovered that
multiverse
anomaly,
ghost,
but there's no proof to suggest a universe is bumped into ours. But this was a theory. So what I would love to discover is that there is another universe. And if there's another universe, that means there's another one.
My brain can't, Brandon, stop. My brain cannot with this. This is fascinating and interesting, and I agree with you, but my brain cannot.
But you know what? In another universe, your brain could.
All right, so
I'm just gonna rewatch Loki.
Just in case Jack doesn't respond, he's in Berlin.
Berlin. I'm so excited for you to be in Berlin.
He's at IPS in Berlin.
Say hi to people for us.
Yeah.
But hey, Jack. All right, have great dreams. Anyway, all right. So here's the thing about the multiverse. I don't like the
not the Marvel.
Wait.
No. I don't like the idea of one universe. Just for some reason,
that's why it's called
well
universe.
What?
That's why it's called universe.
Right.
But the cosmos.
It could be called the monoverse.
It envelops all of everything. Universe.
But I also do not like the idea of infinities, and maybe.
But what about?
Okay, that's different.
Our love.
Wait a minute. That's different.
Between me and Jack is what you're saying. Captain Jack, the dog.
Yes.
So
who's in a cat bed
when
right
it comes
now?
to physics, I don't like the ideas of infinities.
Oh, okay.
Because
it's fine.
I have been
line
taught,
over the number. I get it.
I have been taught that when you encounter infinities, it means that your understanding of whatever the fuck it is has broken down. It's not right. That's why we know that Einstein, as great as his theories are, is not correct at the center of a black hole because you get infinite results.
Yeah, because the black hole is fucking fucked up.
I just wanted to point out that in the weird universe where Mike meets Albert Einstein, he's going to say, "You're wrong, and here's why."
I am. And then I'll be like,
can you imagine? God.
I'll be like, I just wanted to say that.
Oh, God, it'd be great. Please wear, like, an Einstein wig while you do it. Or Gandalf. Dress up like Gandalf. That'll really throw him.
No Gandalf. That was before Gandalf.
That's why I would throw him.
But we'll need my eyebrows to just get real fluffy.
Oh, I can't handle it.
Real bushy.
I can't handle it.
But anyway, so I don't like the infinite number of universes out there banging into each other.
But then when you get into the brain melty thing and you go, what's beyond our universe, and then your brain melts and you go, there has to be, and then your brain melts and you can't continue the thought.
But I want there to be more than one universe. I want there to be the multiverse. Because that's new physics.
Yeah, and then you contemplate how big our universe is, and you go another universe that's like our universe, but bigger, and then but could be completely different than our universe, and then you can turn into a puddle like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yes. So Mike doesn't care about the multiverse. He cares about new physics.
I do care about new physics.
That's what he cares about.
So it's not the multiverse. It's new physics you want.
He wants... Okay, so the answer to
you
Brandon's...
want more math, Mike. You want more math.
The answer to Brandon's question is this whatever your first question was, you just want more math, new physics.
But he said that I cannot use new physics as...
so you said new math instead. You had a really fancy way, and you convinced
you just want more fucking squiggly lines and random made-up letters?
It's not... The reason why I want new physics is because I know that the old physics, quantum physics and general theory of relativity, don't explain everything. And I realized...
We need a Jane Austen of the physics.
So we need more colliders.
That's a deep cut.
I realize that I am falling into the 1850s trap of physics where it is...
the biological...
With this new
we're
physics,
about done.
With the new physics, we're going to be able to explain everything, and physics is going to reduce to biology, which I really should send that quote to my mom because she was a biology teacher.
What if we just had everybody on the planet do ayahuasca?
Oh,
what the fuck does that mean?
We would have... It means first
of all, we'll throw
no more
up.
Wars.
And then everybody, I don't know, gets enlightened.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't know what ayahuasca means.
It's like a drug. It's like a peyote on acid.
Is that the Peruvian drug you do before you go hiking?
Yeah. He knows what ayahuasca is.
It took me a second to get there.
So, yeah. I mean, I want new physics. And it's not that I want necessarily more squiggly lines.
I just want more pretty pictures of the planets.
We want pretty pictures. We want new physics, we want new life, we want new universes, which is saying a lot, considering what we should have here should be enough. But clearly, we fucked things up here. So with that, before we go down that rabbit hole, thank you for joining us here. Cosmos of the Cosmos. This has been a fantastic hangover. It's been a great episode. Joining us next week, next 2 weeks, when we talk about the high in the sky. Thank you for finishing that for me.
Oh, we're in August already. Fuck.
We'll come back around and finish up Voyager Part 2, Voyager 1, which is going to be good. And very excited for that.
Cheers to us for no politics.
We didn't do any politics in the hangover.
I did the whole thing, but that's
hashtag Kamala for president.
Cheers to us for no contemporary politics. Dink.
Mom, are you talking about the movie Lucy still?
And IPS, Jack, Federico, have fun, enjoy yourselves.
International
Enjoy IPS. I'm very
excited. Society.
Do a WhatsApp to us. Let us know how it's going. Message us. I'm very curious. I want to know.
Messaging Brandon on WhatsApp.
And then he'll message us.
Message me.
For everybody, IPS, International Planetarium Society, is having their conference now in Germany.
Oh, okay.
So
Prost.
With that,
Prost.
Join us. Watch us on all things. Drink Cosmos. We'll see you next time. Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Cheers.
Fuck you. I will do what you tell me.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. I'm ending the stream now. I have to use my mouse manually.
Bye, Felicia.
You say this every time. They pretty much know.
You can't make this a button on your little
Oh,
pad.
yeah. Why don't you make it a button? You have all these empty spots.
I tried and it didn't work.
Oh.
Okay. Goodbye now.
Bye. Cheers.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
We're done.